Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing fine. In the previous video, I installed Windows Server 2019 on 3 of the machines. One was SCCM 01, and the other one SQL 01, and the third one was TXDC 01. I also did assign the static IP addresses to each of those machines. For TXDC 01, it's 192.168.0.100. For SCCM 01 is 192.168.0.101, and then for SQL 01 it is 192.168.0.102. So in this video, I'm going to convert TXDC01 into a domain controller by adding Active Directory, DNS, and DHCP features. I would also create two users, two Active Directory users. One is going to be SCCM_admin, and the other one is going to be SVC_SQL1. SC_admin would be a domain user, and this is the user I'm also going to use for SCCM admin stuff. Basically, this would be the user that would be used in all of my future videos, and would be also an SCCM admin account. The SVC_SQL1 is going to be service account that is only going to run SQL services. Then I'm going to create some GPOs that are the prerequisites for the successful installation of SCCM. Those are FileShare and WMI. So I decided to put them into the GPOs so that all of the new machines could get it. And I'm going to apply that GPO on a domain level. And then finally, I'm going to create 3 OUs. And as I mentioned in my previous video, that the way my lab is going to be set up is going to be set up on the region based. And I'm going to have 3 regions. One is going to be New York, Texas, and California. So those OUs are basically going to be set up based on those users, so that in the future, whenever I'm going to build new workstations, and if there are certain workstations that needs to go to Texas, then they would automatically get joined to Texas domain, to Texas OU while they're joining the domain. And New York would go to New York, and California would go to California. So let's move to TXDC01 and get this started. Thank you for watching our videos. I'm Bibi, and with me in picture is my wife Mishi. We are husband and wife team who works together to bring you all these videos. We love to drink hot tea. Please support our channel by subscribing, sharing on social media, and commenting in the comment section. If you would like to buy a cup of tea for us, now you could do so via PayPal. You could see the link on this screen and also in the description of this video. Thank you again, and we love you. Peace. So since there is no DNS server kind of setup in my domain, it does not, I can't just go and directly log in with the machine name right now. So I'm just going to use IP address to log into the TXDC01. As I mentioned, the IP address was 192.168.0.100 for this machine. So I'm just going to RDP into it. All right, let's try it again. So go to Manage, Add Roles and Feature, Next, Role-Based or Feature-Based Installation, Next. As you could see, it's now changed, and the IP addresses, make sure that these 2 things are correct. In my case, it's TXDC01 and IP is 192.168.0.100. That's what's expected. Next. And select it. I will show you some later in the videos. We'll add all of these other features, but for now, for the core installation of SCCM, those are the only things that I am going to use in this video. So UO is just Active Directory domain services. The system is going to automatically prompt you. Just add all the features that are required, and select DHCP server, DNS server. So these three needs to be checked for SCCM installation. And later down the road, I will add some more. Next. Everything default, nothing needs to change here. Next. 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 Select restart the destination server automatically. This in case if there is any kind of a reboot that is required for the feature to complete. Just that, click yes, install. Sorry, that's my son who is calling me. He is gonna get upset. Give me a few minutes, baby, I'll be there. All right, so as you could see, the installation succeeded. Just gonna close, and there are certain things that needs to happen that are the post installation. So just click on this flag right here, and you are going to see configure DHCP configuration, and then promote this server to domain controller. And then obviously there is another one that is going to be DNS2. So first I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and promote this server to a domain controller. And this is a brand new installation. So select add a new forest. This would be Bibi. No, I'm sorry. I think I have said bbtech.com. Yeah, that's bbtech.com. This is not my domain name, by the way. It's just I just decided to just check it here. Click next. Enter the awesome password. Next. Create a DNS authentication. Uncheck it for now. Next. It should pop up here, Bibi Tech. Click next. Leave everything default. Click next. And all of these selections that were made, like let's say that down the road, if I want to create another domain controller and I want to save some time, there is actually Microsoft now gives you the option to have a PowerShell script. You could just take this one and put those values through it, and you could build it very, very quick. You don't have to make each selection one by one. Click next. All prerequisite jet passed successfully. Click install. Install. All right, it's going to restart the machine. I'm gonna re-log in. Oops, sorry. This needs to sure. Almost. Okay. All right, it is logging back. So these roles are starting to show up. Once you're logged back in, just go back again on this notification flag and complete the DHCP configuration. Click on that. Click next. Just leave everything kind of the default commit. You should see the status is done on both of these, and it's also going to restart the DHCP server. Close. Then the next thing we need to do is create a scope for the DHCP. So click on Tools, and now you are going to see the DHCP option here. So select DHCP, and as you could see already, we have the new domain, which is bbtech.com. And I'm going to set up the scope for IPv4. That's what I'm going to work on. So right click on IPv4 and do new scope. Next, name it. I'm gonna call it Bibi Tech. You could name anything that makes sense. Actually, Bibi Tech Lab. Whatever the description that you want to do it for this lab purpose, I'm just going to copy and paste the same thing. Next, this is where whatever the range that you want to set up for this DHCP scope. So the IP addresses that I have is they start from 192.168.0.1 all the way till 250. So the way I'm gonna set it up, I'm gonna just go with 192.168.0.1. 192.168.0 to 200. These are basically, this is the scope that you are setting whenever the new machines that are gonna come into the domain, and that's how the DHCP server is going to assign the IP addresses from this pool, whatever that you are trying to define over here. So that's what I'm going to do, is between 1 to 200, whatever that would be available. That's how the DHCP is going to give those IP addresses to them. This one you do need to kind of think through in advance too, if you are trying to deploy this one in the production environment, so that this needs to be pre-planned, how the scope needs to be. Like, let's say there you have different offices, or the building is segregated into different ways. That is more of a networking stuff, so I'm not going to go way too much into detail on this. So click next. these are the exclusions. If there are any kind of exclusion on the IP addresses that needs to stay, that does not need to be done. Basically opposite to whatever that is happening in the first step. I don't have any exclusions. So next, how long the IP address needs to be leased for? I am going to do for 1 day. Next, leave everything default. Next, what is the default gateway? This is the gateway that will take you out to the internet. So for me, it is this, because this is the way I have kind of daisy chain 2 routers. So one, the internet access for my router is set up on 192.168.0.1. So just going to add that one, click next. You could do multiple too, by the way. And this would be the DNS server, which is this machine. That's the one that is going to work as a DNS server. And you could already see the IP addresses there. If you have multiple ones, which I do have something on the side, but I'm not going to mention in this. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to leave everything as the default, which would be the IP address of this machine. Next, VANs, they are not used anymore, at least to my knowledge. Next, and finish. Now the scope is set up. Next thing I'm going to do, which is the last one in the configuration part, is to set up the DNS zones. Reverse, make sure that reverse and forward zones are set up. So I'm going to go back, sorry. Tools, DNS, once it's launched, expand the TX DC, and then this is the forward zone. Select the forward zone. This is set up, don't need to mess with it. As you could see right here, that's the TXDC01 is there. And then also you need to set up a reverse lookup zone too. This way, if a machine is pinged with the machine name or with the IP address, it should resolve to accordingly. Like let's say if you do the NSLOOKUP and NSLOOKUP of the one of the machine name, let's say SCCM01, whatever the IP address for SCCM01 should show up as a forward. And then if you want to do the reverse lookup, it needs to be whatever the IP address. In this case, I have set up as a static IP, which is 192.168.0.101. If you do the NSLOOKUP on it, it should give you the name of the SCCM, that what host is currently connected to that IP address. So there is no reverse lookup zone set up here. So I'm just going to select a reverse lookup zone, new zone, next, primary zone, leave everything default, next. Leave this one as a default to all DNS server running on domain controller in this domain, which is the bbtech.com. Click next, and I'm going to set this one up as I mentioned, IPv4. I'm not messing with IPv6 for now. Click next, and the network ID, which would be the first 3 octet of the IP address, 192.168, and mine is 0. That's how I'm going to leave it. Next, and allow only secure. No, I'm just going to go with, since it's a lab, I'm going to go with allow both non-secure and secure. Click next, and these are the selections that you made, and do finish. Once it's done, then all you need to do is I need to set up one more pointer, which is this is the new zone that was set up. So right click on it and new pointer, leave everything default, click browse, then select the TXDC01, whatever you should see. If you are following along this video, you should see only one. Okay, click all right, and then double click on this, go and drill down all the way to that machine here. This is bbtech.com, and this is very, very important. You have to set this one up. If you are trying to install SQL Server on a different machine, it's not like your SCCM and SQL Server, if they are not hosted on the same machine, you have to set this one up. Otherwise, you would not be able to install it. And then browse all the way to TXDC01, click OK. It should show kind of like this, and then click OK. That's it. Now, if I the next step is to open the command prompt with admin rights. You could type in the search box cmd, right click and run as admin, and do ipconfig / register DNS. Alright, that's going to, it does give you the message for 15 minutes, but it happens pretty quick. Now, if I look for NSLOOKUP, it should resolve for both forward and the backward. It should resolve to that TXDC01 should resolve to IP address 192.168.100, and then IP address 192.168.0.100 should resolve to TXDC01. So just type NSLOOKUP 192.168.0.100, and as you could see, it's resolving to that. And if I do the opposite to it, which would be TXDC01, and this one is resulting in that too. And as I'm going to build some more and more, the remaining two machines, once they are going to join to the domain, you would see how they get resolved accordingly too. So that is the DNS zone setup. I mean, so tired. Yeah, DNS zone setup. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to create two users, and to create the users in Active Directory you need to go to Tools and look for Active Directory users and computers, and then expand the forest. In my case, this is bbtech.com, and the users, just select on the user container, right click it, new, and then select user. Set I'm gonna call this one SCCM, the last name is admin, which would be SC_admin, that's the user login name. Next, awesome password, and for this one I'm going to say a password never expires. Next, finish. So here is that user. The next one, there was another user that I said I was going to create, so same thing, right click, next, user. This would be SVC SQL1. So this is a service account, so SVC_SQL1. Next, awesome password, and then password never expires for this one too. Next, finish. That's done. Next one, I will go and create the GPO so that the firewall settings are allowing file share and also the WMI. That is a requirement. That's a prerequisite for SCCM. So click on Tools again, and this time go to Group Policy Management, you're going to see this forest right here. Then select that domain, and as I mentioned, I will do this one on a domain level so that all the machines that are newly joined to the domain, they would get this policy, the one that I'm about to create. So right click it, create a GPO in this domain, name it. So I will call it SCCM configuration. Well, that should be fine. Okay. Now, so click on bbtech.com. That's the configuration right there. That's a new GPU. There is no setting. There is nothing so far in it. So select it and right click and select edit. And now I just go. This is a firewall setting. So just is a policy. So I'm gonna go to policies, Windows setting, and sorry, I'm just gonna drag this one right here. And this is a security settings. Under security settings, go to Windows Defender Firewall Advanced Security. Then select Windows Defender Firewall. And this is going to be inbound rule. So right click, new rule. And this is actually a predefined rule. So I'm just gonna select predefined, and in a drop down menu, just type file. I need to look for file and printer sharing, right, this one right here. Next. It will automatically check everything, so leave everything default. Click next. Allow this connection, yes, finish. So that's done. And the next one, there are going to be basically 2 inbound rules and then 2 outbound rules for this SCCM requirement. So next one I'm going to do for the WMI, same way exactly. Click new, predefined, and then drop down WMI and look for Windows management. Where is it? Windows management instrumentation. Next, leave as is. Next, allow this connection. Finish. Now do the same thing for outbound. New, predefined, file share, file and printer sharing. Next, everything is there. Next, allow connection. Finish. Right click, predefined, and this would be WMI again. This management. Next, finish, allow connection, finish. So that's good. The last thing is to create those OUs, which would be, again, go back to tools. Active Directory users and computers. Select your forest. In my case, it is Bibi tech.com. Right click, new, organizational unit, and I will call this one Texas workstations. And I'll show you in the future video how I'm gonna start putting my machines like Windows 7, Windows 10, and how I'm going to distribute them. So workstations, okay. Create another one. Right click, organizational unit, NY workstations, and then the last one would be CA workstations. Cool. So this is good. Now, just to test it, if this one is kind of working, what I'm going to do is I will sign out of this machine, and then I will try to come back with the machine name versus this IP address. and then also use sc_admin. One thing that I need to do with the sc_admin account, that it needs to be a domain admin. So I just need to go back into tools, Active Directory users and computers, look for that user, which is by clicking the users, look for _sc right there, sccm admin, that's a user, right click it, property, and then go to member of, and as you could see, this one is just only member of, it's just a standard user. So I want to give the access and the right permissions basically to be a domain admin. So sorry, select members, add, just you could do domain and then check names. That's the wrong name, that spelling is wrong. And these are different kind of users, domain groups that you could assign. So I'm just gonna go on the top level, domain admins, so that this user can do basically everything. Okay, apply, okay, and then I'm gonna close this one. And if you want to verify it really quick, right click properties, and now you would see that members of, so this user now is member of users, which is just the standard users, and then also member of domain admins too. I'm gonna close this one here. I'm gonna sign out by clicking start, go to this user icon and sign out. Now I'm gonna come back in as TXDC01, and hopefully it will work. Yeah, as you could see, it is resolving just fine. Now the user is SC. Yeah, I need to put Bibi tech, that's a domain name, / whatever the user is, which is sc_admin, and then the awesome password. Come on. All right, I is gonna log in. Right there. So I am able to log in. This concludes the setup of a domain controller, basically Active Directory that is required to set up core infrastructure of SCCM. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to install SQL Server 2019 on its own server. And then after that, there would be an extra separate video that would be installing of SCCM on one of the server that I created in the previous video. I hope that you liked it. If there are any kind of questions that you have, or if there is any kind of feedback that you want to provide, please leave it in the comment area. I really thank you for tuning in. I would appreciate if you could please share, like, or comment, because that would help me and that would also help grow my channel to a bigger level. Thank you so much wherever you are. Peace.